We got Big J Mac loading in, guys. Make sure that we're double tapping on that phone screen and sharing out that live with a handful of friends. Also, for everybody spamming his third repost down below in the chat, I saw his third repost. It was kind of funny. It was just a hate post on me and Parker saying
Yo.
that we read all these crazy hypotheticals. It was funny. It was funny. What's up, J Mac? You support Trump?
Yes.
All right, age, please.
I'm 18.
Great, 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 great. What year are you born in?
2006.
Cool. Let's hop into a debate quickly before we do. Angela, thank you for the $10 over on PayPal. I want to see 100 Angela W's down below. Angela says, I see the things you post on Facebook and appreciate everything you do on that platform too. Angela, fun fact, that's not me. That's an imposter. I'm not even joking. It's not me. It's not managed by me. It's not managed by anybody on my team. I have no association with the Dean Withers Facebook. I just haven't done anything about it because they're running it okay. And they have like hundreds of thousands of followers that are disproportionately older people over there. So I've just let them do their thing. But is it me? No, it's not. As well as Brian, thank you for the $5 over on Venmo. This is for owning MAGA. Appreciate you for the love, Brian. Jesse with the $2 saying, fuck him up, kid. Love you. Love you too, Jesse. Thank you for your kindness. As well as Peter, man. Thank you so much for the 100 DKK over on YouTube Super Chat. Saying, have I seen Trump embarrassing himself at the UEFA's Cup? Yeah, he got booed by the whole crowd. That was hilarious. Anyways, go ahead and take it away, Mr. J Mac. Why do you support Trump?
Um, First, I want to ask, aside from character, why can't you support Trump? I don't want any of like character. His character is obviously like the worst character, like enemy president I've had in my lifetime. Aside from character, why can't you support Trump?
Cool. Well, I mean, I want to give the red flag here. Like we should be concerned about an individual's character. An individual's character should inform us if we support them in a position of a public office or not. But I mean, if you're more so just asking that question to see if there's any other reasons, sure there is. I mean, his policy is terrible, dude. He's completely incompetent. He's never spoken intelligently about policy. He has like no ability to negotiate with other countries. His economic policy is terrible for wealth redistribution, incredibly expensive, spending more with one bill in Congress than every penny spent by the Biden-Harris administration in 4 years on non-COVID related expenditure, while also redistributing wealth from the poor to the rich, defunding our education systems, defunding food stamp benefits, and defunding Medicaid. It's just terrible, man. And I mean, that's just his economic policy for his tax cuts.
So
When we factor in his tariffs, which is also a regressive tax on the poor that disproportionately impacts him since they spend a disproportionate amount of their income on the bare necessities to live, you see more wealth redistribution from the poor to the rich, and then a social policy like repealing Roe v. Wade and sending it back to the states. That's led in 66 million human rights violations by denying 66 million American women and girls access to abortion. See, the big problem here is his policy is just as bad as his character.
So the big beautiful bill. I heard you bring up a point about that, the Medicaid, SNAP, and everything like that. Um, they weren't defundings; they were refinements. So he was taking people off of it who don't need it. So equity, I think it was over 1.2 million dollars. Um, I mean, I know there's some dude. He literally
It's not
debunked.
defunding, it's refinement. Go ahead.
Exactly. There's a bunch of dead people on Medicaid. They're taking those people off, and people who don't need it. Medicaid. He's defunding Planned Parenthood. So no more paid abortions.
Oh,
I don't agree with that.
dude,
Abortions.
that's
I think
also
they are
propaganda.
necessary.
That point is completely propaganda. You just said he's
Um,
defunding Planned Parenthood. There's no more paid abortions. That is complete BS, total propaganda. So the federal
someone.
government, no, listen, the federal government gives how many dollars to Planned Parenthood to specifically fund abortions per year?
I think 114 million.
Wrong. They give $0 to Planned Parenthood specifically to fund abortions. So federal funds do not cover elective abortions for any women ever. Okay? All that the reallocation of funding in this bill does is Planned Parenthoods do a lot of other things, like provide access to contraceptives. In some cases, provide access to OBGYNs, provide access to birth control, provide access to pregnant women that don't want to abort their child, but just want to have resources so they're ready to raise it. And what the defunding for Planned Parenthood does is if any facility offers abortions that aren't paid for by the state but are electively paid for by the person getting it, they don't get federal funding for anything else that they do. So it's defunding pap smears, it's defunding STD testing, it's defunding access to birth control, it's defunding access to new mother resources. I mean, it's literally called Planned Parenthood, right? So that's definitely something for your consideration. I absolutely disagree with that defunding. I think that it's morally atrocious. And I have about a billion other critiques of the other things that you said, but I want to start on this point. Take it away.
Um, there was another one I forgot. Hold on, give me a second. Could you like just topics? Don't none of the explanations, just topics of what you said before.
Yeah, I want you to respond to what I just said up there about Planned Parenthood. They're not defunding the federal government paying for abortions. They're defunding the federal government paying for cancer screening, STD testing,
As you were
pap
saying,
smears, new parent resources.
before, I said I didn't really honestly, like in my whole heart, agree with that because abortions. I'm one of those conservatives that I don't believe in religion and everything like that. I'm agnostic, so I keep abortions, all that to opinions. My opinion, I don't agree with abortions, but I keep that opinion to myself because again, it's not my body, it's not my body, not my choice.
I mean, I appreciate that. That just means that you're pro-choice.
And
So you should
as
agree
well
with me
as
here that defunding, cancer screening, STD testing, pap smears, and other, like forms of
Planned
sexual health
Parenthood does all that.
medicine. Yes, they do for women. Under a healthcare system that is already sexist and knows more about male pattern baldness than they do pregnancy, is like an incredibly immoral, terrible idea.
Well, back to what I was saying. Planned Parenthood. I did some research and it said $114 million a year goes to abortions through Planned Parenthood.
That's propaganda. No, $114 million go to Planned Parenthood per year to fund everything else they do. Federal funds funding access to abortion has been illegal for 20 years.
Well, I see you typing. I'll give you a second.
No, I'm finding you what made it illegal for federal funds to fund abortion. The Hyde Amendment. It's actually been illegal for longer than 20 years. It's been illegal since 1976. Since 1976, it has been illegal for federal funds to go to paying abortions under the Hyde Amendment.
So it's illegal?
It has been illegal since 1976 for a single dollar from our federal government to fund abortions.
Let me do my research then.
All those funds, they fund other things that Planned Parenthood do.
You said the Hyde Amendment?
Yeah, the Hyde Amendment. HYDE. Hyde Amendment, 1976. While he's looking that up, everybody, make sure that we're double tapping away on that phone screen and sharing out this live with a handful of friends. Yeah, the reason why they've made this part of the bill all about abortion is because that federal funding being denied to these Planned Parenthoods is literally contingent upon these Planned Parenthoods offering access to abortion. So this is just like another way to pressure blue states into effectively criminalizing access to abortion by getting rid of it because maybe these Planned Parenthoods will need that federal funding, right? And use an individual that said that you were pro-choice. You should not only disagree with this for the reason that it's restricting upon the pro-choice worldview by making it harder for women, even in blue states, to access abortion, but also because it is making it harder for women in blue states to access abortion by essentially leveraging everything else that Planned Parenthood does for new moms and new dads.
So here I'm reading this. It is illegal, but for low incomes, it's insured. And 17 states use the funds to pay for abortions for women.
So you're talking about state funding.
I mean,
so states can choose to use their funds to pay for abortions for Medicaid enrollees, and that's actually based upon the Hyde Amendment. The Hyde Amendment only specifically makes it illegal for federal funds to be delegated towards women's access to abortion, and that's something that I clarified on.
I see that
2 minutes ago. It's illegal for a single penny from the federal government to pay for an abortion. But because of the limitations of the Hyde Amendment, states can still delegate some of their funding towards funding access to abortion for Medicaid enrollees.
All right. Well, I see the federal funding for abortions not allowed.
Right. So do we see? So of that $141 million that's going to Planned Parenthood, being taken away from Planned Parenthood, it's actually just defunding everything else that they do, like cancer screening, access to contraceptives, planning for new families, STD testing, pap smears, and everything else.
Well, you got me there. And you said earlier about the tariffs. you agreed bad.
Before we move on to the tariffs, I want to address everything else that you said, because you said the 1.1 trillion that's being taken away from Medicaid isn't defunding. It is just
It won't defund hospitals.
it's not defunding. What did you call it?
It's not funding anything. It's not. There's no 1.1 trillion being taken away. It's literally just a refinement, getting people off of it who don't need it,
Refinement.
adding
That's right.
adding work requirements for people who do want to use it. There's that 20 hours a week, and if you can't work, then you're considered disabled. That's an opinion. Okay.
Okay. So that's just one part of it. So what you're doing is you're trying to make one part of it the whole, but that's not true. So is it true that it is now imposing a new work requirement for individuals, collecting Medicaid? Yes, that is true. But is it true that that work requirement is the only thing that is being revised in Medicaid from the BBB? No, that's not true. So yes, it is adding that work requirement for the low-income Americans, but it is defunding $1.1 trillion from Medicaid, which is expected to significantly increase premiums that will lead to millions of low-income Americans that are meeting that work requirement being kicked off of the services because they can't cover these higher premiums. And then even about, that quote-unquote refinement of the introduction of the 80-hour per month work requirement, I think that's a bad idea. One reason why I think that's a bad idea is because of the administrative burden. When Arkansas implemented a statewide work requirement for Medicaid, 18,000 people lost coverage that were working 8 hours a month because they couldn't fill out the proper paperwork to prove it. The administrative burden is crazy. Imagine what this will do in the macro scale of the whole country. Millions of people are going to be kicked off that are working that much just because they can't fill out the proper paperwork. And then even on top of that, I agree that our government should have policies to incentivize employment. That's a given. That's a bipartisan agreement. I just think that policy should be separate and decoupled from healthcare policy.
Okay.
You know what I mean? That's probably something that you haven't thought about before, but it's like the moment I say it out loud, you're like, oh, duh, like Dean has a point. Let's incentivize employment. Let's get people to work at least 8 hours a month if they're able-bodied. Awesome, 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 awesome. No disagreement from me. But to use healthcare policy that's supposed to keep people alive to do it, nah, man.
I mean, but with like with the healthcare policy and everything like that, it kind of guarantees most people are doing that aside from a basic incentive.
It guarantees that all people are going to do that. No, if it guaranteed that all people were going to do that, then we wouldn't see projections from the CBP saying that 17 million people are going to expected to lose service in the next 10 years.
You have to work now. Like there's like no other choice. If they wanted that healthcare, they do have to work. If they wanted that SNAP benefits, they do have to work. There's the work requirements for all this now. FAFSA.
Wait, quick question. Does it create more jobs? Damn. See what I mean? Like, it's just boom. One issue right there. One issue with no second thought. Obviously, this is a policy that is not thought out, is not comprehensive. And we shouldn't just have the idiocratic government saying, oh, we need more people to work, so therefore let's impose a work requirement on something that's supposed to keep people alive. That's not something we should do. No. Let's keep that policy separate and decoupled from healthcare policy.
All right, I'll give you that one.
Great, man. I'm happy. You are great. I really appreciate this awesome conversation that you're having with me.
I'm a person that's willing to learn. I am willing to learn. I like to hear both sides. I like to hear all arguments. It gives me a chance to help me form my own opinion with all the facts. Again, you're giving me some of the facts here, and I agree with most of what you're saying.
I have a lot of respect for that, bro.
And then we're done with this part of it because I wanted to head on to the tariffs. Because
before we move on, I have to thank a handful of people. You guys have been going crazy on the donations. There's holy fuck. There's around 5 or 6 people here that I have to thank. And you guys are just going absolutely crazy. Disgusted Veteran, first and foremost. Disgusted Veteran. Thank you so much for the $100 super chat over on YouTube. Thank you so much for the love, Veteran. I want to see 1,000 Veteran W's down below in the comment section. Thank you for the $100 super chat. Veteran says, are you prepared? The more familiar / accepted that you become, the more dangerous you will be to them. These are mindless cultists and they will continue to come at you. This boomer supports a good fight with people like you at the helm. Veteran, I really appreciate you for the love. And Veteran, I honestly hope that, you're enjoying this current conversation because I agree with you. You're scorned because you see so many of these Trump supporters being mindless. But I mean, the guy that we have on live right now, he's not. He's making concessions, and I appreciate that. So I bet you're enjoying this conversation. It really does show the progress. But seriously, veteran, thank you so much for the $100 super chat, as well as Nicholas with the $100 super chat over on Venmo. Dude, let's get 1,000 veteran W's down below in the comment section and 1,000 Nicholas W's. Nicholas says, keep building your platform, keep debating. You are doing a fantastic job. Nicholas, $100. That is crazy. I really appreciate you for your kindness, Nicholas, with the $100 donation as well as your kind words. I want fucking everybody to be spamming 1,000 Nicholas W's down below, as well as Rose. Thank you for the $10. That's incredibly kind of you, Rose. And then also, holy crap, dude. John, thank you for the $50 donation over on PayPal. Let's get 500 John W's. John just says, thanks for the conversations. John, thank you for the $50 donation to support the stream and what we do here, as well as listening to the conversations. 500 John W's. And let's get 2,000 Denise W's for the $200 donation over on PayPal. Like, you guys are going crazy today. Oh my goodness gracious. Thank you, Denise, for the $200 PayPal. Denise says, hi, Dean. I sent you $200 yesterday on YouTube. Bear Bernard, I remember you. Dude, Denise, thank you. I'm so glad that after that donation, you informed the listeners that you do not get the entirety of the donations over on YouTube. So I opened a PayPal account to remedy this on my part. Your friend in the progressive fight, Bear Bernard. Dude, Bear Bernard, Denise, Bear, I love you. Thank you for your kindness. Can we get 2,000 Denise W's down below in that chat? And we're not even done yet. I also have to thank Jay for the 125. Like, what the fuck is going on? The $125 donation over on PayPal. Jay says, all donations from your fans come with the same love. Thank you. You thank them with. You rock, man. Dude, I don't deserve this amount of love at all. You guys are going crazy right now. Let's get 1,500 JWs. Seriously, you don't know how much I appreciate you, Jay. Show some motherfucking love to Jay down below in that comment section right now for the $125 donation. And we have one more. Holy shit. Elizabeth with the $100 donation over on PayPal as well. Like what is going on? What the fuck is going on? Elizabeth, thank you so much for your kindness. I want to see 1,000 Elizabeth W's down below in that comment section for the $100 donation. Thank you, Elizabeth. That is so kind. Elizabeth says, I struggle debating MAGA. I get so frustrated so fast. Watching you inspires me. Keep it up. Elizabeth, I get it. It can get incredibly frustrating at times. It's been a learned skill of mine to try to keep my cool, but I even lose my cool sometimes. Just know that is completely natural and normal. And I really thank you for your $100 donation. Guys, if we could please show some love in the chat to all of these incredibly kind donors, that would be so awesome. Thank you all. That's just like an unprecedented level of love. I don't deserve that at all. I want you guys to know that I love and appreciate the hell out of y'all. So please show some love to our donors down below in the chat while we direct the mic back to J-Mac here to further our debate. Now, J-Mac, the mic is all yours. W donors in the chat, take it away and tell us why you support Trump, or another reason why you support Trump.
Back, just want your opinion on the tariffs real quick. What do you think about the tariffs and what they've done? I see that we were in a $27 billion budget surplus for the month of June 2025. I mean, how do you feel about that? Like, do you think the tariffs are a good thing now, or do you think they're still a bad thing and they're hurting the Americans more? Like, I heard arguments of they were hurting farmers, they were hurting many different people.
So farmers hurt us a lot. They do. I'm going to go and respond to the first point that you made there about them creating a surplus by generating more revenue for our government. They do. Obviously, tariffs do that. I think that the Trump administration says they've generated $3 billion in the last 160 days. Now, the only issue with that is this money is not coming from mega corporations overseas or mega corporations importing these goods. They're coming from the average American and disproportionately low-income Americans that buy the goods and pick up that tariff from whoever is importing them. I mean, think about it. You know, like the mega corps producing goods overseas, their profit margins are what? 3, 4, 5%? Okay, well, they don't have the margins to sink and cover the cost of a 25% tariff. And then the big importers, too. I mean, these are multi-billion-dollar corporations. What are their profit margins? 3, 4, 5% the same thing. So they can't consume the tariffs either. So ultimately, it is passed off to the consumers and small businesses. They are paying that price. It's just another tax on the American people. But this tax is disproportionately paid more by low-income Americans since they spend a greater proportion of their income on not just the bare necessities to live, but everything. And for that reason, I completely disagree with it.
Me, myself, I live in Colorado. It's already a pretty expensive state. I
You
haven't.
live in Colorado? Where at?
Colorado Springs on Fort Carson.
Dude, nice, man. I was living out in Boulder for a couple of years. Go ahead.
Nice. What's it called? Colorado, as you know, you've lived there. It's a pretty expensive state as is. You know, pretty hard to live here. But you make a good amount of money. I didn't honestly notice, me myself, any price changes in anything but gas, which is normal to see gas bumping around a little bit. You know, I see it go from 70 at Sam's Club to $3.50 at Maverick. You know, I haven't honestly seen anything like that. So that's why I myself agreed with tariffs to an extent. I didn't honestly see it hurting anybody.
Who's paying the tariff? Tell me.
Again, you said the low income consumers.
Wait, who do you think? Who do you think it is? Who do you think is paying the tariff?
Honestly, me myself, as of right now, I thought before it was those big corporations that couldn't raise the prices.
Can you name a single big corporation that sells goods to American consumers that operates at a profit margin like any more than 5%?
Cannot.
Right, because they don't exist. It's literally physically infeasible to assume that the American companies are consuming the cost of the tariff. It's just infeasible. Literally the only way that these tariffs can be paid is if they're passed off to the consumer by increasing the pricing of these goods. It's the only way. There's no other way. Let me see here.
Let's see. Hold on.
I don't know what the repost is that you guys are talking about. Like, I just don't know who that is. I'm going to go and believe the chat. I appreciate you guys for pointing that out. J-Mac, I appreciate you for the convo, bro. According to the chat, you got a fucking weird repost. It's not promoting SA. I don't know. Some people in the chat, I don't know. The people in the chat are saying that you have a repost that's like promoting SA. I mean.
You know who Corey Kenshin is?
No, I don't. Who is that?
He's a YouTuber who was recently accused of sexual assault, but it was cleared by the person who was saying it was sexual assault. She said she was sexual assault, but then her and her friend came out and lied, saying the messages were fake, and I guess that's about it.
So the person that made the allegation retracted them?
Yes, they retracted the statements literally a day after. Like the allegations were made yesterday or 2 days ago.
Yeah. Okay.
Retracted that.
All right. Okay.
Say if you still want to kick me out, I understand.
No, man. I mean, I'll just take your word for it, and I guess, do you have anything else that you want to go over? I kind of feel like we've covered a handful of things.
It says here that President Trump plans to impose a 30% tariff on European Union and Mexico on August 1st.
Right. Why would we want to tariff the EU and Mexico?
No, I just wanted to see like your opinion on that. Like,
I disagree with that. I mean, I just think that it's a unnecessary restriction on the market that's inevitably paid for disproportionately by low-income Americans. I support the globalization of commerce and focusing on comparative advantage. I think that we should make what we're good at making. It's going to be what's most productive for our economy, et cetera. And I think that forcing those tariffs on Mexico as well as the EU are ultimately going to disrupt global supply chains and force us to make things that we're not as good as making as other countries. This will also have a lot to do with, making the raw materials to build other goods. I mean, what do we want to be focused on making? More expensive, valuable commodities that require raw materials to build them, or the raw materials themselves. We would probably want to focus on making the more expensive commodities that are built using those raw materials that will lead in higher paying jobs, higher GDP per capita on average, and higher quality of life. But yeah, man, I'm gonna go to move on to the next guest. I appreciate you for coming up here, J-Mac.
All right, man, I appreciate you. I'm a big fan. Just to let you know, even as a Trump supporter, I'm a really big fan. You're a smart dude. Appreciate you for your time, man.
Cool. I hope that you end up changing your mind on these things. We're gonna move on to the next guest. We got Gavin loading up in the box. What the fuck? Oh my God. Sean. Dude. Sean with the $650 donation over on PayPal. What the fuck? Oh my God. Dude. What is going on today, man? I'm lost for words. I'm being so serious. I do not deserve that. It's just not something I deserve. It's not something I deserve at all. And the fact, Sean, that you donated that to me, holy fuck, I really appreciate you for your generosity. Oh my God, can we please get like 10,000 Sean W's in the live chats? Keep in mind that is Sean spelled SEAN. Dude, what is going on today? Man, Sean, the dude. Sean says, we got to make sure that we read Sean's message. Sean says, as a 39-year-old liberal progressive and a once misguided Republican, you are fantastic. Well done. Thank you, Sean. Thank you. I really appreciate your donation and your support of what we do here. I don't even know what to say. I'm thank you. Thank you so much. Everybody show some love to Sean in the comment sections while we're working on getting the next person up here to debate.